these are the two finalists. I think the bottom player played against the Ira, didn't he?
He might have in before he went up against KO. I'm not 100% sure about what his top 8 matchup was, but it's possible.
Yeah. We will. I will try to see if we can get a graphic for the top 8 heroes, but right now we currently don't have one. So sorry, lovely audience. But what we do have are two very solid players, Mr. Jacob Trossig, the unmovable himself, and the underdog Mika Vaino. I have not heard of his name before.
Well, it's I will have the pleasure of introducing him to you, Peter, because I had a chance to talk to him in between the games.
Yeah, do that, boy.
I asked him, like, tell me something about yourself. You're in the finals, and being true to his Finnish roots, he said, yes, I am casual player. I did not practice much, but it's going well.
Yeah,
So there you have it.
Yeah, we talked about, but this is Mika. We talked about him we played against Astner. He works with people who have problems with mental health and substance abuse. So that's a very wholesome job. He likes to go to advanced competing, and he's a casually competitive player.
Yeah, I feel like he is certainly a very humble man, because he said he didn't practice much, he doesn't play, considers himself very casual, but as we can see, he has been playing Bolton for 2.5 years.
Okay, here's the handshake and the players are ready.
We're going into game 1.
So I do believe Jacob is the higher seed of these two players.
I would be surprised if that wasn't the case.
Yes. So he's most likely going to go first, even though this might be an aggro versus aggro, because he doesn't want Bolton to get the ball rolling.
On his soul.
And you might leak some damage, because it might be hard to block Bolton efficiently with your 2 blocks and not okay, very few non-attack actions.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, we'll have to see how these two play it out.
Is Mika from Finland?
Yes.
Then his prediction of at least one Finn will make top 8. Congratulations, Mika! It was you.
There he is.
Damn! What a psychic!
he definitely got it right. But yeah, what do you think? Jacob is currently considering his options, deciding what to do. We're still not 100% sure who is going first, because they're both currently thinking. It looks like he might have put Mika first, because it looks like Mika is pitching into the gloves immediately.
Yeah. So maybe he just, even though the multiplayer gets to attack, he still values the power of going second, that allows you to attack first. So that's very interesting. I took a look at our fun sheet, and a lot of players, 16 of them, believe that Jacob Trossing would top 8 or win it all. So those players are pretty validated right now. Let's see if their prediction pays off.
I mean, he is our national champion here in Sweden, so it's in some ways it's an easy prediction, but it's also, Jacob is absolutely a phenomenal player. He is
and he's been on a roll.
You saw that last game, but he was casting with Conrad. He is so good. The thing that we were praising Niklas for.
Yes, they are cut from the same cloth. Mm-hmm. Extremely methodical, and as I said in the stream, the iconic Jacob hold his head with both his hands and think, oh, here's a very interesting start for Jacob. He gets a CNC, so he can actually try to do some disruption against Mika here.
Alright, yeah, we did see Mika going first, so just content to get a card in Soul and a card in Arsenal, but yeah, if you do see that CNC coming out, that's what you're hoping your opponent doesn't have on turn 1.
Yeah, so it was very interesting, because Mika could have used the Soul to go again, push some damage, but he decided that the Soul is more important, and I agree. But it's also very interesting to see Jacob blocking with 3 cards, because he really wants to find his chi as soon as possible to complete his quest.
Yes, we're looking at a hero that honestly, like all 3 of the Mistveil heroes, really like getting chi out as quickly as possible, because chi allows them to do their most powerful things.
Yes.
So the earlier they can get it, the earlier they have access to those tools, and the earlier they can sort of like try to start snowballing and running away with the game. Nu obviously uses it in a little bit of a different way than Zen does, and then
I talked with Conrad outside, and the main judge Niklas Bengtsson. It's like Zen has for sure the strongest of the chi powers. Enigma is the middle, and Nu has the weakest or the most situational is the.
I heard you say that, and I remember thinking to myself, you have not looked down a 1 HP new with 25 ward on the board playing against the Enigma, Peter.
No, I've been the 1 HP new, but I did not have 21 ward on the board against Enigma.
I will say that is generally not a very common occurrence, but it is nevertheless fun to see. It's honestly.
Yeah, I love popping up with new. It's so fun to play your opponent's cards.
But we see.
Oh, and this is a soul charge card that gives -1 to block, I think.
Is it the because that is one of the bannerets, right?
Yeah, it's one of the bannerets.
Yeah, no, there are several of those indeed. But this is one that's a little. Because I even asked Mika if he had any special tech, and the only thing he had to say is no, not really. I'm just an average player. So.
Yeah, I think this is actually the banneret of resilience. It looks like.
Yes.
It gives +1 to defense, so not the one you want to charge on your turn, but I mean.
Yes, I do guess because from what I have seen, and again, I am by no means a pro Bolton player. I've just started building my Bolton deck, but from what I've seen, most of the decks seem to play the Banneret of Courage and Gallantry to make those Quicken and Courage tokens.
The majestic tokens.
Yes, but I could sort of see the argument for resilience, because if you make that, if you get that in your soul when playing a soul shield, then not only if you block 6 damage, but also your next card will then block extra as well. So you get a really good block turn on the turns.
Yeah, so the secret is the new card from the armory deck that allows you to charge on your opponent's turn. And they also trigger if you charge a yellow, then you draw a card, so then you get the value. Oh, here we go. Boom, and it misses. There has not been a lot of harmony in the Ancestry these days. 3 of 3 misses on stream. Unfortunate.
Yeah, missed the other 2, ironically.
But, nice one, Boyd.
But it looks like Jakob is still going strong. I mean, he's still holding on to a 3-card hand. He's gonna try and bring the pain to Mika either way. But I think Mika is happy to at least see a miss on something. When you're in this type of high stakes scenario, finals of a battle hardened, you are. I mean, everyone wants to win a fair game, but you're hoping a little bit that your opponent whiffs on a few of the things.
Yeah, I mean you always want as you said, a fair game, but you always want more luck to you than your opponent. So it's only fair to hope that your opponent miss. It gives me big satisfaction of seeing those misses. I do not carry vengeance from the calling where I lost to both of my Sand players hitting on that card. No sir, not me.
Fair enough. I see how it is. But I do also hear it. Zen has been even after the ban. Zen has been a strong deck in the format, and I mean we all like rooting for the underdog.
Yeah.
So when we see Bolton against Zen, I think a lot of us are going to be very interested in seeing what that Bolton is doing.
Yeah, and this last time he was on stream, the Lumina Ascension didn't do as much, but here I think they're going to be worth their weight in gold.
Yes, it's of course harder for Zen to block them out. Being a ninja, he has more of those 2 blocks in the deck, which makes it just a little bit tougher. Of course, well, you could argue in a weird way that means that he makes the breakpoint of 4 a little easier with 2 block cards, so you can be efficient in your inefficiency.
Yeah, that's a nice way to think about it. That's like a glass half full, half empty. And here we also see a new cool card.
Saving Grace.
Saving Grace.
And you see him once again. So you putting his deck. I wonder. I really need to take a look at his list because I feel like he is just running more bannerets than most people do, and he's content to play some of those bannerets out just on defensive turns because those courage tokens, unlike Might, they stay around. So even if he's forced to block out, that's just going to sit there until he gets to attack.
He might try to play this much more slower and try to like run Jacob out of threats because the Sand deck does a lot of powerful stuff. But if you can like match them bar for bar, then eventually he loses his hero power. And you are scaling because you are gaining a resource for later in the game.
Yes, you can do that turn we talked about earlier where you pop a CNC and then you pop the Beacon of Victory, giving the CNC plus 10, 11 cards in your soul, and suddenly you swing in like that.
Yes, and but I think Mika is going to attack somebody who's just trying to play efficiently. Now he got the free value from that the chest that allows you to prevent the next damage you take if you charged every turn you charge. So it's a really sweet card that gives you more value with the equipment that charges.
Indeed, and it's an interesting one because this is not a super high power turn for Jakob because he did whiff on that Ancestral Harmony, but this is still a pretty high power turn.
Yeah, it's a strong turn. It's a 5 into a 4 into a 4.
Yes, and Mika
and an arsenal.
Mikael has taken some damage, but he's also been left with an extra card in Soul. He has a Courage token in the field, and I think he still has 1 card and 2 cards in hand?
He has 3 cards in hand, actually.
3?
I do believe, or no, just
I
2.
was about to say that is not possible because he played the
Yeah,
Saving Grace and Charge.
Yes. So now this is a 0 for 5. Trying to match Jacob, and let us see if he moves his hand. We might see the last card is a Saving Grace. So that's gonna be parked right in that arsenal and help him survive for more turns.
Yes, and if I am not mistaken, Saving Grace is also not a defense reaction, but an instant.
Oh,
Well,
wait.
it is a defense reaction, so it does not get around to command and combat.
Yeah, no, sadly, but it can give minus, which is really interesting.
Yes, because minus does get around a lot of weird. There's a lot of cards that are specifically aimed at getting over the 3-block breakpoint, and then some cards specifically do that in a way where they didn't threaten Arsenal or something, but giving something -2 allows you to do really weird play lines on the defense. Where suddenly a 2-block equipment is enough to block out something like Leave No Witnesses in a sense.
Yeah, and also it technically blocks for 1 more because of the chess piece, which is really cool. Holy moly, that card must be the mirror breaker when you just steal their entire turn by giving it minus so they can't give it go again.
Yes, I can imagine that actually. I will say I have never seen a Boltyn mirror.
Yeah, me neither.
I've not met enough Boltyn players for it. But after this, depending on what Mika can do here tonight, we may be seeing a couple more.
Yeah, so here's the wax on. Is there a wax off? I really want to see the get the send mirror. Send okay, but this is an interesting hand for Jacob. He has 2 defense reactions and 2 cheese. So he's probably just going to chill. But now he still has the same awkward of the +1, -1 chi turn.
Yes, he does have the 2 transcend cards, but it's the fingertips the skills to give an attack +1, and it's
Yes.
I don't know what the other one is called, but it gives
The
-1.
drop in the ocean.
That's it. Yeah, so that is a bit of a weird one to play out. So he is going to pump the attack that has already been resolved so that it doesn't do anything, and then he is going to unpump the Raiden attack.
Yeah, so technically, if Mika was psychic, he should have closed the chain before attacking with Raiden.
Yes, and that offers all sorts of interesting questions, because then you could say, should he have just done that either way? Is there a reason why you would want to keep it open here specifically? Because this is obviously a downside, but then you start thinking about the theoretical possibilities and what could be the downsides and what could be in your opponent's hand.
I think it should. I think not enough players closes the chain enough. It's a mechanic that you can't do, and it forces the mystic characters to react and do stuff when it might not be opportune for them. It gives you information. There's not a lot of reasons for Boltyn to not close the chain, except for V of the Vanguard. Because it gives +1 for every light card you charge on the chain. All the other cards doesn't care about if the chain is closed or open.
So then what you're saying, it makes sense. Then probably it is likely better for Boltyn to be closing that chain after every single attack, unless you specifically are trying to play V of the Vanguard. But then there's the argument that if you do it consistently all the time and then you stop doing it, then someone knows that V of the Vanguard might be coming.
Yeah, so that's a fair argument that you will give information by not giving information, which is very interesting. But I mean, I don't know how many percentage points you get by constantly closing the chain.
Yeah, we are now deep into the mind games of the mind games.
This is very grasping for the fewest percentage points available. But I mean, if that makes you win the battle hard, you should do that.
Yes, let's see. So we see Jakob, he grabbed a Mauling Key, I think.
No, Pouncing.
Pouncing Key, that's the one.
Yes.
And he is with not a huge hand, still gearing to set up another big turn.
Yeah, he got Tigers for days, which is interesting. Why wouldn't he go for Chase the Tail if he has this many Tigers? So here we see he's got a block with the headpiece and now charge a yellow to get an extra card into Soul and draw a card. So he's basically free. Oh no, the yellow ones gives a quicken. So he probably mapped out that, okay, I might not get go again the next turn. I'll charge now to get the go again.
Well, did he charge the Banneret? He charged the Banneret that gives him the quicken, right?
Yeah. So he does draw a card, yeah. So this is like gravy.
Yeah, no, I was confused for a second there, because I know that charging through the boots gives you the quicken as well, but that is...
Yes, so I just I corrected myself wrong.
No, but it's still similar to what we saw I think 1 or 2 turns ago, where we saw him charge and make himself that courage token, which in Boltyn can basically equal go again because you have bumped your attack, so you can do that.
It's at least very interesting. So let's see, what will he do? He's presenting. So Mika can kind of map out this turn. It's 2, it's 1, and it's 4. So that is 7 damage. And 1 mystery card. He's still struggling. He's down the... Jacob is in the driver's seat. So he would need a sweet turn to try to pivot. Actually, it was 1 more damage because I forgot about Tiger Shuko. So it's 8. And the scary part is that Jacob might slam a Warmongers, which usually doesn't affect Bolton that much, but it stops the most powerful card, which is Lumina Ascension.
Yes, exactly. And I believe we saw a defense reaction in Jakob's hand.
Yes, I thought it was a defense reaction in Mika's arsenal, but I'm starting to wonder that it's not, because this was a lot of damage. Oh yeah, it was saving grace. He just saved it for the last attack. So I think he's not going to charge. Oh yeah, because he gets the value because he's already charged. So it's a 0 block 5. Damn, that's impressive. But still, he's down 12 life. And Jacob has full equipment. So he needs to start doing something. This is not working out for him.
Yeah, see, it's like you said, if he can go bar to bar with the Zen, then he's in a good spot. But that's not really what is happening anymore. But we'll see what he does now. It looks like we have an engulfing light going out, charging a take flight.
Yeah, so it has go again. He still had 2 cards left.
Yes, that quicken that he made on the defense is going to help him with that.
Yeah, so this is not that threatening for Jacob, because this is 3, and it just goes into the soul. So I think Jacob, if he has enough offensive pressure in his eyes, he's probably just going to take it and save the defense reaction for if there's a Lumina, if there's anything more scary. No, or I'm dead wrong and he blocks.
Yes, but that's the thing with Jacob. You never quite know what's going on in his mind. He might be thinking like, this hand is above average, but I can do better.
Oh.
And I'm confident I can stall things out.
Here it is, the beacon of victory, but it's only going to do it for 1. He's happy getting Lumina here and not pumping the soul, which is interesting.
Yes. What is our Bolton player planning to do next with this?
He's going to play and close the chain and then send Raiden 2 times, which is very strong. It gives an on hit, so it's basically 0 for 5, and but Jacob has the perfect counter with Flick Flack into 3 block combo card.
Yes, Flick Flack has been doing a lot of work. I remember the times when I went up against Ninja and wondered why no one was playing that card.
Yeah.
It seemed so good, but Ninja just wanted to go aggro back in the days before Mistveil, even before heavy hitters even. But nowadays we kind of see it as a mainstay, and I think most of the Zen decks we've seen today.
Yeah, it's a 0 for 6. It's crazy defensive value.
Yes, it's really the only downside is if you need to pump on the gas and you draw like 1 or even 2 of them, that hurts you.
It will. You can't have them in like Enigma, then you're in for a beating. But he probably has a good enough sideboard to just side out the defensive tools.
Yes, and seeing Mika grab the Lumina here as well makes me wonder if he was actively fetching that because he feels like he's falling too far behind, or whether he was fetching that because maybe this is his game plan. Maybe he's thinking like, I'm going to try go bar for bar, and then if I get too far behind, I'm going to try to play my Luminas to catch up a little.
And here it is. So it goes up to 5, but it blocks 5. So this is a perfect counter from Mr. Jacob himself.
Yes.
So the problem here from Mr. Mika is that he doesn't have the legendary card out in the field, the item for Bolted, the Spirit of Arena, which allows you to play Lumina at instant speed. And then you could have done more tricky stuff, because then you could have sent the sword for 3 and then bait Jacob into playing the defensive card and then get over to get that sweet life that you desperately need when you're down 11 life.
Yep, that does make sense. But that is always a bit of a thing with Bolton, because I think decks only play 1 of Spirit, and I believe it's legendary. I think.
Yeah, it's legendary, and it is legendary.
Yeah, so you need to, like, if you find it early and you get to like charge it early, then you just have it out, and then it's just a tool you have for the game. But if you don't find it, you're somehow gonna have to work around the fact that it didn't show up.
Yeah, it's like it's a quest for sure, but it's like much harder for Bolted to find it than just playing a blue card.
Absolutely, it's also a lot harder to find it for Bolton than it is for Zen to just pull any combo cards out of
True.
his deck.
Yeah, but it's extremely powerful, and it allows you to play Lumina on the V of the Vanguard turn, which you normally can't do, which gives you a lot of value.
This is true. So we see Jacob now trying to strike back. He did block quite a bit in order to prevent that Lumina turn, so he's not going to have the best offensive turn. We see him content to just throw the Kakara here, leaving one card unknown, making Mika a little unsure as to what he's going to be doing next.
Yes, so Mikael, after thinking, decides to charge the boots and get himself 2 tokens, a Might and a Quicken.
And that is another Banneret being charged there.
Yes, it's the one that makes you a Courage. So it's aptly called Banneret of Courage, naming God.
Which is funny, because the one that makes you a Quicken token is called Banneret of Gallantry, and not Banneret of Quickness. But
I mean, gallantry, like horse? I don't know, man. I don't know words.
I see where they were going with it, which is the most important part.
Yes.
But this is interesting, because now we see Mika making both a Quicken and a Courage token. We were talking earlier about how a Courage token is essentially sort of a go again, but
Yeah.
a Quicken is also a go again, so maybe they're not quite as strong together as just having one of them is.
Yeah. I think you want them separated, but it's like when you want to charge and you have the Banneret, you might as well charge the Banneret. It's the job of the card. But he's still down so much life. This Zen deck, it's just able to present a lot of value.
So we see yet another charge, this time on the attack, coming with a go again and an extra point of damage of the Courage.
Yes.
Of course, it doesn't hurt, like you said, to just have the go again, because that means he will not have to use a card from Soul to do it, and he's now going to be able to just throw the Raiden for 3, essentially for free.
Yes, but now I'm scared, because now Jacob didn't even consider blocking, so that would put the fear of God into me.
Yes, it looks like it, and it makes sense, because Jakob has had okay turns, but he's not had super powerful turns. The one turn that could have been big is when he had the Ancestral Harmony, but that whiffed.
Yes.
So it's not that weird that at this point he's finally drawn into a power hand and put himself in a situation to really put the hurt on Mika.
It's time to get gaming, as we say here in the business. Gaming, go again to Raiden, the turn continues. What's the follow-up?
What is the follow-up? It is simply going to be an attack.
Yes, it's the Boltin has a lot of different names, but it's
Light Away.
Light Away, yeah. So it gets, if you charge, it gets on hit go again. So it's basically worse than a head jab at this point. But it's damage. You close the gap a little bit, but you don't have any. You have 2 equipment left. Jacob has full equipment and is still ahead of you on life and kept his entire hand.
Yes, it's not looking too good, but I have to assume also that, well, maybe Mika was planning it out that way because he does get to keep his arsenal, but also maybe after that Raiden hitting and like seeing no blocks from Jakob, maybe Mika was thinking like, I need to put more pressure onto Jakob right now because I cannot afford to just have him sit there with a full hand.
Yeah, and it's probably that the arsenal card is just a better card than the charge. So let's see, what will Jacob do in this turn?
Looks like he's starting off with a blue Biting Breeze, I believe.
Yes, so the one is actually a little annoying for Bolted because he doesn't have any good way to just block 1.
Well, he does have the Soulbound Resolve, which if you have charged on this turn, you prevent the first 1 damage dealt to you, but then obviously you need to charge for that, and most ways that Bolton will do that on his opponent's turn is with some sort of defense reaction, which you don't want to play on the 1 attack.
Yes, so it's like, okay, Jacob, you got me. Take your tiger. Have a good old time.
Yes, and I think Jakob also knows this, which is probably why he's starting with the Biting Breeze. Maybe he would have done that regardless, but it's definitely the right move in this situation as well.
Here comes the Kakara. I see a Transcend card in Jacob's hand. I see Sturdipod, a Tiger Body, and a Pouncing Key. So this is going to be a very strong turn.
Pouncing Key always feels unfair when you're trying to block out the ninja that's hitting you for 1 and 2 and sometimes 4, and it suddenly hit you for 7, and you're like, that's illegal. You're not supposed to hit me for harder than 4.
That's so huge. Yeah, but it's the 0 for 4 if the Tiger is the back card. So Mika is still safe from the terror of the 7 attack.
Now?
Yes. But I saw he play a blue of the Key Unleashed, so maybe he's crazy enough to get it. He will get 2 resources from the Transcend. That would be awesome if he did. But I think this is just going to be another classic Chase the Tail turn with Giga value. Okay, Mika's not blocking. Taking the damage, but it's been 1-2-2, so it's like, what are you going to block?
Yes, it's very... Jakob probably still has a lot more damage coming up, especially now that he gets the Transcend as well and uses his ability.
Yes.
But it is kind of... It's interesting, because what is Mika wanting to do here? You're right that maybe there wasn't anything worth blocking yet, but it could also be that he's actually looking to hang on to that hand. We can see a little bit on his hand cam that he's got what I think is another Light Away there.
Yes, and E-Strike. That's an interesting card I've not seen in Boltin.
It's the same Sky Cloud God that also shows up in Celestial Cataclysm.
Yeah, but that's an E-strike. I'll know that bad boy.
Oh, it is an E-strike, but maybe it's just he's going for the thematic win.
I mean, it's not unheard of because you can E-strike, give it pump, and also give it go again with bolt in.
Yeah, it's a good card in almost every deck, and in Bolton it's also good, but for slightly different reasons than it is in most decks.
Yeah, I also saw he has the Beacon of Victory, so there can be another Lumina turn. But I don't think the Lumina is going to be powerful enough. I think he needed like double Lumina or anything crazy, like get the V of the Vanguard or something like that.
Yeah, well, what we're seeing so far is that Jakob and Mika are going toe-to-toe, blow for blow, trying to do the same thing, but Jakob is just going out slightly ahead every single time, and
Yes.
it's kind of like leading to a position where Mika's deck just isn't doing quite enough. He does have a lot of cards in Soul at this point, so if he draws into something like a Celestial Cataclysm, he could potentially just throw a bunch of damage out, but if he's too far behind by that time, then...
It doesn't, that it's too late, because like the Chase the Tail is kind of a Celestial Cataclysm. It's 7, it's just into different attacks.
Yes, exactly. And it's the age-old story with Fashion Blood is you have all the leeway in the world to work with if you're up against a deck that doesn't really disrupt you until your hit points get low enough that you cannot afford to stop blocking.
Yeah, then you're in the vortex. So here's like the charge mechanic is just costing so much for Mika to he has to like sacrifice one card every turn to use his power, and it's just costing him a lot of offensive pressure.
It is, and defensive pressure as well, because all those cards that he's charging, he can't block with. And he's blocking, he's using them somewhat effectively defensively, because he's charging the Bannerats, usually to defense reactions and such, to
Yes.
make him the Quicken, to allow his like 1 or 2 card hand to still do a little bit more. So he's playing it as efficiently as you can, but it's just not coming out to quite where you want to be.
Yes.
And that is what we're seeing now, where Jakob with 4 more damage. Mika can put down more blocks, but that will also do his own turn. He's already 10 health down now.
Yeah.
How far away are you willing to go from the Zen in hit points?
He kind of like needs to the Arsenal needs to be a charge card, and he kind of like needs to do the Beacon of Victory, but it's like it feels very hard for Mika to come back from this.
Yes, it feels like... well, we can't count him out yet.
No,
he's
he's...
lost, but it does feel a little like the game is slowly but surely slipping out from under him.
Yes, so it's just that like... as you said, the math just checks out for the Sen in every way, but here it was a defense reaction, so he managed to stop the last attack, get another card in soul, and he's gonna arsenal their reaction, and then if maybe Jacob doesn't draw anything, but there's a Warmonger, so no.
We do see that, but we will have to see.
Maybe Jacob just pitch it because he's a gentleman.
Yeah, like you could see him pitch it to just try and put more pressure on and to just sort of go for the win, but Jakob is not that kind of player. He will happily hang on to that if he knows that it gets him.
If he sniffs out that like that Arsenal card of Mika might be some way of Lumina, then he might play the Warmongers if the turn lines up. So let's see how's going to sequence this turn. This is not the strongest Sen turn because he's lacking one Tiger to get the full value from Chase the Tail in his hand. But it's still an efficient turn because he can go Kakara, Tiger, Chase the Tail, 100 wins, Warmongers.
That is that nasty line, ending it with that Warmonger.
Yeah.
Because this is, but I guess this is one of the things that Zen is so good at and so nasty at, really, that like he goes with these long lines and you're trying to hold on to cards and be like, I want to pressure him back, and then at the end he just places the Warmonger and it's like, oh, and now if I had known that I would have blocked out.
Yeah.
Now I'm a bunch of health down and I'm not going to do anything.
So he's actually going to give up the 1 value to get 3. I mean, it makes sense. I think you get this is another 4 attack. Yeah, you just be like, damn, I should have blocked with the boots earlier, but like Mika has to go to 6. He's down 21 life.
He can, of course, block with his chest piece and I think his gloves as well, but he doesn't really accomplish anything.
It's just damage. I think if this turn did not end up on the Warmongers, I think Mika could have like the crazy Bolton turn and come back into the game. But here, it's gonna be rough.
But let's see. Let's consider what can Mika do.
So
with the Warmongers. He's probably going to say War, because otherwise
he has to say War. There's only like Visrai that can say Peace.
But I think then...
double Chief for Jacob, not the best defensive. Sorry I interrupted you.
No, that makes sense. But then even if Mika says War, probably the worst thing he can do is put a lot of damage towards Jakob and maybe charging a card or two, but the cards in Soul are just sitting there, and that is the problem for Mika now. It's nice to have that little reservoir and be like, oh, I can have this payoff, it's great. But if you don't get to play the payoff, then you're just sitting
just
there.
wait until I liquidate my assets, boy.
Exactly.
I'm gonna be so freaking rich.
And that is perhaps a bit of a problem that Bolton has, at least in this scenario. Is if we see something like Enigma, they can actually hang on to cash in all of that cheat that they've made earlier in the game. But if we see the Bolton, they're going to have a rough time having enough blocks, especially against the Zen, to survive long enough to actually make use of all those cards in their soul.
So he... Huh? Why didn't he give it... Oh, yeah. Why didn't he play his reaction? He just ended the turn with 1/4 attack. Because you can still activate Bolton. It's not an action, it's a reaction.
I wonder if he was thinking that he just wants to keep the hand and set up something better. Maybe the fact that Jakob blocked so quickly made him sniff out that, like, oh, if he's this eager to block, then I have to sort of hope that he's not got a very good offensive hand. And maybe then he was like, okay, maybe then I do have to take that setup turn, even if it means I'm going to go down to 2 or 1 hit point.
That's very awesome. If that's the line he took, that's really cool. Just IPing himself, but doing it to set up to win. I think also a problem Mika's going to say here is that he could have blocked with both of these cards earlier, trying to be at a slightly higher life total. Because I think the way for Mika to come back into this game is to not block a single card this turn.
If he can afford to do that, then maybe that's that. But it is going to be a tough one, because we see Jakob digging for his deck, already pulling out cards, and we do have the Crouching Tiger coming in for 1.
Yes.
That one you can let slip. You can go to 5 instead of 6, but that is not where it's going to end.
Yes, he got the Mauling Key, which Jakob has shown he is fine of not having the combo. So there's probably more violence to be had here.
But I am curious to see, because Mika does have his chest piece available still.
Yes.
Which can be an asset. Yes, so now we see the Tiger Palm, I think.
Yes, this is the Tiger Swipe,
yes.
Which is very sweet because it will make another Tiger, which will combo with the Mauling Key that he has in his banish to play.
So this sort of forces a card out of Mika. He can give his chest piece, but if he gives just the chest piece and takes 3, he's going to go to 2 health.
Yes, and then the other card also gets the on-hit, the Mauling Key. But it forced him because he has on-hit to win the game.
Yes.
I mean, on no block win the game.
Yeah, no, I mean, we know Mika's going to give something, but I'm trying to figure out how far can he go without giving any cards from hand. But I think the answer is the line is here. I don't really see a way for Mika to worm his way out of this one.
Yes.
He'll probably have to give him a card and the chess piece to prevent this on-hit.
Yeah, but he still has to give another card because this is another 5 attack, and he is at 5 life.
Exactly. So he's trying to figure out what 2 cards then he can give up and still have a decent 3-card turn with.
Yes.
And that is kind of where the problem lies. Even if he has a really good 3-card turn, let's say he somehow manages to eke 15 damage of a 3-card turn, Jakob is just going to laugh at that and then come in again and put him in the vortex, as you say.
Yes. So blocking 5 on 5, stopping the on-hit, doesn't charge. And here comes the Mauling Key. It's another 5, so you can block this for 3 and take 2. Which Mika is going to do.
And that's going to bring Mika down to 3 hit points. At least there is no Warmongers active this time, but
yeah,
it is probably too little too late. You're looking down a 24 life differential, and when you're playing a game like this, a finals at a battle hardened, you're going to pull out all of the stops and you're going to look for everything, but 24 life is a very tough climb.
There is a foothold. Now he must climb.
Let's see how much he can. This is where the efficiency does come into play. He's going to be easily able to block out those 1-damage Tigers with his equipment now.
Hooray!
Oh,
he could have gone double Lumina if it wasn't for that stupid Warmongers stopping him dead in his tracks. And he even has the defense reaction to rub the salt in. Like, no, you're not hitting me. So this is like, he will get a turn here. He will cash in some of the soul and use the reaction from Arsenal and then get the Lumina, I guess, and then present 2 more attacks. Which will get him back up to 5, but then it's like, you're at 5. Jakob has 4 cards because he's probably going to block with the defense reaction at some point during this turn. And then you need to survive somehow.
Yes, and
he even has 2 defense.
And even if the defense reactions aren't enough, Jakob might want to block with the traverse for good measure. Just pull that cheat out and ensure that you can finish the game next turn.
Yeah, this might be, he might block with the headpiece just to make his turn better. Or he might just take it. He has like, and the ocean is his, the world is his oyster, and he can do whatever he wants.
Yes, it looks like our Swedish champion may also end up being our Nordic champion here.
That might be true, but he has to cross the finish line.
He does. He's still running.
This is what I love about Jacob. A lot of players might squander this position, but he's still thinking every line through. It's almost as his opponent is not a tree life. He's just playing, how do I play the best game I can play, given the situation?
He is absolutely calm, analytical, which is honestly one of the... Oh, there we see the beacon of victory, as you
Yes.
were saying. It's one of the things I've always found a little ironic about Flesh and Blood, that it simulates so well this back and forth and this one-on-one and this arena deadly match. And then sometimes what happens is one person says, I swing at you with my axe, and then the other person says, okay, let me think about that for 5 minutes.
Yeah, like, but it's my turn. It's like the good old JRPGs, where it's my turn to block, you have to wait.
Exactly.
I can think on my turn.
All right, we see Mika doing exactly what you were saying. He is pulling out that Lumina. He's going to try and extend his turn.
Yes.
With the Lumina, see how much work he can get done with his Raiden here.
Yes, so Mika was playing to get the double Lumina, which is very strong. It can gain you back 6 life, and it presents 15 damage. It's crazy.
Yes, because if we assume, let's assume for a second that he was able to do that here.
Yes.
With that 6 life, if he would have been able to get it, he would have gone up to 9 health.
Yes.
15 damage to Jakob. Jakob obviously would have blocked, but if we just subtract 15 from his health, Jakob is also at 9.
Yes.
Would have essentially evened the odds.
Yes. Then you might force him to block, but here he has the double defense reaction too.
Yeah, it's going to be 2 Raiden attacks, because the problem is also Mika might even expect it. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he expects the D reacts from Jakob. But even if he does, what are you going to do? Like, you've got your Lumina. It's the most powerful thing you have. You're going to try and throw it out there. So we do indeed see the sink. Looks like Jakob was thinking for a second about whether or not to sink a card.
Yeah, he has not the strongest of hand. He can do something with the chi and the CNC.
He has a Cosmic Awakening that he's considering sinking. He just put it apart there for a second.
Yes.
But he's choosing not to sink it, so he's choosing to keep that.
Can he actually attack with it? That would be hype.
I don't think he has any chi.
No, he has one from the mask.
Oh, yes.
Is this the fabled seat for 10? No, it's not. He's just pitching it.
Yeah, I would assume that with a single chi, that's still a lot of investment for 10 damage.
Yeah, it's not the rate these players are want to take for. So here we see the Kakara for 2. And Mika knows Jacob has a chi in hand, so a tiger will come with this Kakara. Let us see. What is he going to do?
He's thinking. You see, Mika thinking through all of his options, being in a position where he's this much life down. He's thinking, what are the paths? What are the roads? What cards could I draw if I just hang on long enough that could get me back into the game? What is any possible angle that I can survive all of this and inch my way back?
Yes.
And as he shoots, he is playing a finals. He is making sure to do his due diligence. He's making sure that if he loses, it's not going to be because he's going to be in the boat home and thinking like, oh, I should just block with that one card and then my whole turn would have come together.
Yeah. I think Mika. It's always when I'm playing, it's always my goal to learn and be like, yeah, I played my best, but sometimes it don't go. So there's always a lot of value to be had, even if the odds seems impossible. You should always try to play as efficiently, as optimal as possible, because you chase the process, not the results. The results will come when they come.
Exactly. And there is that tiger for one. And now I am wondering here if we are going to see the equipment.
Yeah, I've been waiting for this. Boom, block the tiger.
But once again, Mika considering it, he looks like he was sitting on a V for the Vanguard, I think.
Yeah, so sadly no cool V of the Vanguard turn. Here is Breathing Anger. Get another 4 attack.
And we're also sort of sitting at this point now, even aside from the break points that are coming in, Mika has been using some of those cards in his soul to set up for the Raiders. He still got 4, it's still a healthy total, but even if by some miracle Jakob decides to just spend his turn doing nothing and Mika gets to keep a full hand, it's not going to be this super powerful turn anymore. It's not going to be the miracle attack reaction banishing all the cards from Even if he does that at that point, it'll come from maybe 10 damage, and that's still nowhere enough.
10 is not 24.
Exactly.
And there's the CNC, the Hood Classic Ninja finish.
Yes, he can block it out, so he can stay alive here, but it's going to cost him all his cards. And
yes.
Now he's at 1 against the Zen. He's gonna...
What? Is there a combination of cards that gives Mika a turn here?
I think in these type of situations, you are hoping your opponent bricks. I am not entirely sure how Zen can brick, other than drawing like 4 chi. But
it's like, no, but chi is bad, because then he gets the best attack from his deck, and a tiger. So it has to be like the one that gives +1 to the tiger, like 2 of that, and Ancestral Harmony and Warmongers or something. Just 4 non-attacks, basically. So you're blocking 2, blocking 1.
Again, getting the 1 block on the equipment. He's definitely cashing it in.
Hell yeah. Pass over, targeting equipment, no shenanigans, so you know the card will transcend.
And that may end up being all she wrote. Well, Mika was able to block out the 100 wins with his 1 block chest piece, so that means he has 3 cards left in hand, so we can block out 3 more attacks, but one of those is going to be coming for 4 instead of 3.
Yeah, so the break point, I don't see a different reaction in his hand.
Yes, I think sadly for all our collective Vulcan players in the world, I do not see a way out here for Mika. Maybe he is seeing something we're not, but he must be thinking the same thing.
It's hard to find the light in the valley of the mystic whales.
But if anyone could do it, it is probably the paladin.
Yeah.
I know where the light is. It's under him. It's in his soul. But right now he needs it to be on the battlefield.
Yes.
Yes, and that is the tough one because that is a 4 attack. So he has to give 2 cards. So now any additional attack.
Boom, and there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Jacob Trossing, Mr. Unmovable, is your battle-hardened champion.
He was the Swedish champion, and now he is the Nordic champion as well. It has been a good year for Jakob Trossing, and well, let's be real, it has also been a good battle-hardened for Bolton.
True, this is one of the better finishes I've seen for Bolton. I love that our very nice organizer Henrik just slammed the gold foil on the tail. Just take it, man. Get out of here.
And yes, so much for a final game tonight.
It was awesome. I think if that Warmongers was not on that turn, we would have seen double Lumina and the life total would have been much more even, and there might have been a possible. But you know, the sideboard cards, they are extremely powerful.
Yes, Warmongers. It does the job when it needs to do the job.
Yeah.
You play it against Azalea, you play it against the Viserai, and when it comes out, you hear the collective groan of all of those non-attack players going, this again.
It's for sure a powerful card, and there are ways to play around it, but Jacob just showed us masterclass of how to play Sen and how to deliver all the angles, take all the time, and he beaten a lot of crazy good players. So it's no joke that he managed to top it up. So man, what an amazing year for this for Jacob. He gets to get home Christmas, and Santa is like, sorry man, I've already given you everything you want this year.
He's booked some great results, and I'm certain to see that he's going to be extremely happy with it.
And we're gonna get him into the studio for a quick interview. Big shout out for Jacob here. Woo! Sit down, my man. Congratulations.
Come down into our tiny cabin.
Mr. Unmovable still got it, baby.
Yes.
Take it away, boy.
Yes, let's see if I can just make a very quick update to the stream and say battle-hardened champion, Jacob Trossing. This is probably not going to fit, but we're going to make the adjustment.
Close enough.
There he is. So, Jakob, congratulations first of all.
Thank you.
Good work. You must be feeling great about these results. It's first nationals and now this. We were already saying you went from Swedish champion to Nordic champion.
Yeah, obviously very happy with my recent results. Like this year has been great. 2 calling top 8s, win national, and now this battle on win.
Yes,
it also feels very nice to win on the home turf, bring it home for Sweden.
Yes, we've been amongst ourselves talking a little bit about this battle hardened. We're so happy finally getting something in the Nordics, putting Stockholm on the map, and you're helping putting the Nordics on the map. Go out there, go to France, go to the US, and go beat them.
I will.
So, just a quick recap. What was going through your mind playing that game? Did you feel fairly secure, given you had such a life lead for such a long time, or were you afraid of something specific that the Bolton player might throw at you?
Yeah, the main thing is like the Luminas are very good, and especially
There you go.
if there are multiple Luminas, that's can quickly get out of hand. But I was able to hit him with a very good Warmongers, and like once I have the huge life lead, I feel quite good. I have like the D-Reacts, the Sinks, the Flick Flags, and I had a lot of armor, so I know that even if he got a big Lumina, double Lumina turn, I would probably be able to survive, and then he would not have much gas left. But the big soul was also kind of scary. It's like they have Cataclysm and a lot, like Beacon X is like 5 or something. It can get scary quite quickly with the big soul build up.
Yeah, that makes it. We were talking about that at first, where he was very quickly building up a big soul, blocking out your attacks fairly efficiently while charging and making those quickens and courage tokens so that he could still do something with it smart. It looked rather efficiently until you then ended up inching further and further ahead. He kept going down, and then there was that one turn where I believe he had the Lumina in. No, he had the attack reaction in Arsenal.
Yeah.
We had the Lumina in hand, and we were already thinking he's gonna set up for that Lumina turn. And we saw the Warmongers in your hand, and Peter correctly called it out. He says it's gonna be a longer check-in, and then that Warmongers is the thing that is going to lock him out of that game because Yeah, that double Lumina turn would have been scary.
Yeah, like that Warmonger is really one minigame. Like it's a crazy good card in, and it's also a non-attack that blocks 3, so I'm super happy to play it in the matchup.
We saw him play the single Lumina, and I think you exactly perfectly managed to block it out with like the Flick Flack and then a 4-block card.
Yeah, the Flick Flack blocks very nice. You get to block 4 on the first, and then you can block with a 3-block attack, so it goes the second Lumina swing goes to 5, but you block for 3+2, so 5.
And then again, if that had been 2 Luminas, that is not enough to block out both those
No.
attacks. They would have both connected. So
Yeah, then you need to like shove the armor, and then like I got so much value from all pieces of armor throughout the game.
all right. Okay, so one question for you. What's next for you, Jakob? Do you have your sights set on any big events or?
Yeah, I'm going to Prague, and then London is the plan for so far, at least for this year.
Okay, so you're going to be playing the Hunted pre-release?
Yes, so Hunted World Premiere and calling there. It sounds very exciting. I'm hyped for the set, and also like sold out World Premiere is going to be so much fun. There's so many people there. I'm really excited for it.
Okay, well, I'm glad to hear that. I hope you give him. Well, can I say hell in Prague? I guess we can. I hope you take down many more, and I'm glad to be part of this first step of what is hopefully a rich journey into your Flesh and Blood future.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for showing up. If we can get Peter in here for a
Yes,
minute, I guess
I
we
will.
can close our screen.
Tag out.
Thank you, baby. And the Tetris.
Yes, it has been a trying day to.
Peter Brass, I'm back, baby. Oh my God, Jacob Crossley just told me he's gonna carry me in Prague. Let's go!
Yeah, so we're all hyped for it. We have a bunch of people in Stockholm gearing up maybe to show up at that London show. We have people going to Prague as well. So yeah.
Yeah, it's cool to see. Put the Nordics on the map, man.
Yes, if we weren't in Eurovision yet, we should be now because we're coming. And we're taking Jakob with us.
Yeah, hell yeah. We in the back like, get him, Jacob.
Exactly. We're like that shy friend that's
Yeah,
like, yeah, you tell the waiter I got the wrong food.
Okay. But we have some due diligence to do before we finish the stream, my good friend Boyd. We have a lot of shout-outs. First of all, we have to thank our sponsors, Ultra Pro. Thank you so... No, Ultra Guard, isn't it?
No, it is Ultra
Oh,
Pro.
Ultra Pro. Sorry. Cut the stream. Ultra Pro for making it possible. Thank you so much for helping us sponsoring the event. And of course, thanks to...
Alpha Spell as well, our local area. They supplied us with this wonderful venue, and it's a bit of a shame that we've got the booth set up like this because you can't see the room.
Yeah.
We are actually in a creepy Dungeons and Dragons inspired horror room, so there's all these creepy pictures hanging on the walls around us.
Oh yeah, I didn't notice that.
It's a very surreal experience.
Yeah, it's a broken clock and...
Yeah, Alpha Spell has all sorts of like funny things. They have several rooms for hire, so people that are in Stockholm, I've done it with my friends. Sometimes we hire a room here just to play Dungeons and Dragons. And
Hey, that's awesome.
get some burgers while you're at it. So thanks to Alpha Spell as well for hosting this.
Thank you so much. And they play like all the card games here. So if you're interested, come to Alpha Spell, try to play. Maybe you meet some new friends. That would be awesome.
Exactly. Of course, we want you to play Flesh and Blood. But
Yeah.
if you're into any of the other worst card games, you're also welcome at Alpha Spell. Furthermore, beyond that, I think I have like 3 quick shout-outs to do. I'm
Yeah.
gonna give a quick shout-out to Henrik Monten.
Yeah, of
which
course.
is, a name you've probably never heard of if you're watching this stream, but he's kind of the person that's making this all happen. He's been running behind the scenes, trying to fix the stream when it's breaking down, trying to organize the tournaments, all of the side events. He's doing so much of everything, and the man deserves a little bit of recognition.
He deserves a lot of recognition. He has too many damn hats.
Exactly.
But he does a wonderful job and makes it possible for people to do cool stuff like this.
Exactly.
So a huge shout out to him.
And then I want to give a very quick shout out to a friend from Denmark, Lasse, a judge here.
Hey, Lasse!
He spent a lot of time yesterday helping out, setting us up when both Henrik and I were kind of like going, how are we supposed to solve this?
Nothing works!
But he came through for us with that. And I want to just give a very quick personal shout out to Scowling Flashback.
Scowling Flashback, baby!
Interesting content creator. You might have seen his videos. He has some takes on like not just the meta, but like the future of Flesh and Blood and what it should look like, what it could look like. Interesting content, stuff I watch myself a lot.
Cool. I should subscribe to that channel. I've never seen him before.
You will, if you ever visit Fabry, the website that you can find all of the cards and everything on, you will undoubtedly at some point see his videos come by on the little rotator. On the
Oh,
He
nice.
had a lot of interesting takes on. I think there was one on like whether you should use an elo system in a competitive card game or not, and what the advantages, the pros and cons.
That sounds like a very interesting video.
Yeah, it's also like in-depth and interesting. So just take a look at this channel if you can.
Yeah, I will do.
Do you have any shout out pizza?
I want to shout out all the viewers who've been through us and this Herculean task of getting this stream running.
Yes, if you're still watching, I don't know why, but
Of course you know why, boy! Because we had crazy good games!
We did have some very good games. I will concede that.
But again, thank you so much for being patient with us. The technology has not been kind, but we tried our best, and I hope you had a good time watching. I also want to shout out if any of my friends are watching. Hell yeah! I sent my link to friends who don't know about Flesh and Blood. Respect if you did. And I also want to give a little shout out to our third co-caster Conrad, who went home a little earlier, getting a well-deserved rest. But the fun doesn't stop here, boy,
It sounds
baby.
like it is, but we are not done.
The stream is done for now.
Sort of.
Yes, go on, tell the people what's coming.
But tomorrow,
Yeah.
since this is a battle hardened, we're going to continue. We're going to have more streams, and we're going to have Living Legend tomorrow. We will once again see Peter, myself, and Conrad casting, and we're going to be showing some of those sweet Starvo games, chain games. Let's see. All sorts of craziness is going to happen tomorrow. All of the degenerate stuff that you don't want to see in classical stuff. Everything that's banned, it's all coming across the table.
The gloves
tomorrow.
are off. The psycho era is now. I really hope we get to see a Briar. I mean, working a little with the deck myself, I just shamelessly stole it from the top 8. I'm like, these cards are good, but I want to play the bad cards.
I feel like that quite a bit, but maybe in Living Legend, well, it's probably even worse to do than in Living
Yeah,
Legend.
it's like there's the format where you have very little leeway to.
Commoner, we should be playing Commoner.
No, but we can't play the dumb Majestics in Commoner.
I know.
It's true, but it's a very cool format.
But
so,
anyway, yeah, I guess tomorrow we're gonna be going Living Legends. We should be going live at the same time as today, which technically should have been 9, but technical difficulties. We're hoping that now that we've kind of got things under control, we kind of know where we're at.
Yes.
We seem to be operating on a large delay sometimes, so we'll see if
we'll try to make it as best as possible for you guys tomorrow. But please tune in. Have a good night. I've been Peter Bros.
And I've been Boyd.
And we'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye. My man.
Nailed it.
Oh, we're done. I'm so fucking tired.
That was a good game. I'm tired now. I'm exhausted. Shit, it's like 9:30. I gotta go home and go to bed. At least hopefully we won't have to be here at like 6 tomorrow.
Yep. Please don't make me wake up 5:30 again.
Oh boy. I stopped it from recording, but it's like
it's
still recording.
Let me see what the video is. I think they're still there. So the video is like mega delayed. They're right here.
Yeah, it is. I think the reason that it's kind of delayed is because it's definitely not arriving on YouTube correctly. Because people were saying I have someone at home that was watching, and she said it's like doing it's buffering like every 3 seconds, and because it keeps buffering, you keep getting further and further behind. And I think that is the issue, and I think that is something with YouTube. But at least if we get like chunks done and we get them, because even if it's no longer like